Check it, check it. We got lyrics, y'all. That's what's up. We sneak in those harmonies to make the money note feel really good, drag it out with a long tail reverb, and then cut everything off so that we get a nice brief reprieve. It's like it just sucked all the air out of the room. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BandLab Plus Coffee. It's time to wake up, wind up, and cue up with another excellent track. Welcome to Friday. Today we've got Passion by Baudet. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And Samantha Martin. So, without further ado, to the left. Excellent track. Passion over here on BandLab by Baudet at Baudet Baudetluc out of Paris, France, with 165 followers. The song itself has 169 plays, 58 likes, including one of our own. And check it, we got lyrics, y'all. That's what's up. It's already inspired one project, and it's forkable. So if you listen to this and you're inspired by it, the artist has made this available for you to remix and adjust and create something cool with. Let's take a listen. Really nice intro here.
In the depths of my heart, a flame ignites.
That kicks feels like a heartbeat. Good job. And the reverse cymbal soloist, excellent. It's like it just sucked all the air out of the room. And it's only me and you.
And when you hold me close, we light up the night.
Great shift here. Excellent. Really liking these synth choices.
And everybody's looking at us as we dance away into the sky. So bright, we're like one of the stars. Our passion fuels this fire.
That's probably my favorite verse in the song. The inflection and the way that it's being sung by Samantha Martin is just excellent.
With every beat of my heart, I hold you dear. And I know that with your love, there's nothing to fear. Our passion's like a wildfire that's burning bright. And when you hold me close, we light up the night. Feel my heartbeat against yours.
The drums aren't overpowering, but they are driving the beat in a really great way.
And as the world turns,
I love that we bring in the piano here.
In this journey, our love will glow. Your
And the call and response vocals.
is the only cure. Feel my heartbeat against yours.
We sneak in those harmonies to make the money note feel really good, drag it out with a long tail reverb, and then cut everything off so that we get a nice brief reprieve.
Against yours.
And we're back to the heartbeat. Back to the beginning that made it so catchy. Bum, bum, bum. With that dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun. Really awesome track. Luke and Samantha, great job on this. So many good things to say. but I think the best compliment that I can give it, and music being subjective, right? Someone may have a compliment they see as better, but the best compliment that I can give this is that this piece is a cohesive piece. I've been using that word a lot lately. We've been shifting our focus a little bit from, hey, this is neat about this track and this is neat about this track, to a focus of this is how these tracks are coming together and sounding great as one unit. The beat itself, or the instrumental, feels like it was designed with a vocal in mind, and it feels like thematically y'all are on the same page. So you just have an excellent track here. I've already added it to my iVibe playlist. If you don't know or haven't checked them out, make sure you head on over to the DJTatious playlist sets. So many different ones, including some great contest tracks, originals of mine, tracks I vibe with, which is the one that changes most often, forkable jams if you're feeling creative, attempting such spectacular feats. These are songs that I feature on, little snippets of things that maybe are cool, but do you like them? Should I finish them? Covers keep us warm, covers from around the lab, and then of course BandLab plus coffee tracks that have been featured on the show. So make sure you check those out as well. You'll find Passion on the iVibe playlist. So with all of that being said, let's jump into two things I love and one thing I want more of. The first thing I love about this track are these staples of the track that keep us moving forward. When I say staples of the track, I mean when you hear the song Passion by Luke and Samantha, there are certain things that should come to mind, or at least come to my mind when I hear this track. I have the really great rounded synths, these plucks, do 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 do, do 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 do, and at the same time you have the complementary synth to that, do do do. These are things I think of when I think of this track. The instrumental itself is full of instruments and pieces and bars of concepts and ideas that create a really memorable bunch of little trinkets that you can pull out from anywhere. Whether it's these synths that go well together, whether it's the moment we switch over to some piano, or when we're listening to the heartbeat of a kick, the kick drum that's treated more like a heartbeat and less like a kick drum.
Depths of my heart, a flame ignites.
The reverse cymbals that swell or suck the air out of the room to give us more of a ooh kind of passion feeling. All of these things come together to make such a great instrumental and create memorable moments throughout the instrumental that make us want to come back and listen again and again. So that's the first thing I love. If we were to take out the vocal from this track, which, why would you? It's an excellent vocal. But if we were to remove the vocal, this track would still have memorable moments of synths, drums for the percussion, and dynamic shifts throughout that make it a really great piece. So that's the first thing. The second thing I love is this second verse. The vocals themselves are phenomenal, but specifically when we get over here,
Feel my heartbeat against yours.
the vocals begin to become much more dynamic. Not only do they become more dynamic, but we add more interest and depth and thickness to them. This is when the song truly opens up, in my opinion, right here.
And everybody's looking at us as we dance away into the sky. So bright, we're like one of the stars. Our passion fuels this fire.
Here's why this is where the song opens up. this is where the most emotion is being conveyed by the artist. Samantha is conveying what sounds like the most experienced emotion that she's felt in this song. When I hear her sing this part specifically, and everybody's looking at us, I really get this fusion of Ellie Goulding and Imogen Heap. And that fusion creates, maybe for me, nostalgia, but in general, Ellie Goulding does a lot of feelings-based, how a moment turns into a feeling music and creates an atmosphere. And sometimes it's a metaphor, but every time there's an atmosphere that she creates with a powerful vocal. And then Imogen Heap tends to give us these unique riffs on her vocal where whether it's her processing or her voice tends to do things that either we're not expecting or tends to go places melodically that don't just follow the do 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 do. Right? So when you put those two things together, you get this really great flowing melody from an Imogen Heap song, but then you also get this really great picture painted with the fullness and the warmth of the vocal as the artist opens up from verse 1 into verse 2.
And everybody's looking at us as we dance away into the sky, so bright we're like one of the stars. Our passion fuels this fire.
You can just feel the wave of the melody. So bright we're like one of the stars. It's excellent, and you can hear the emotion, and you can almost see someone swaying while they listen, whether they're sitting on a bus and heading somewhere, whether they're dancing in a club, whether they're in their bedroom daydreaming. This verse encompasses everything great about this track, where the instrumental comes together with the vocals to create this cohesive piece. And in my humble opinion, verse 2 is where that really begins to shine. So those are the two things I love. If there's one thing I want more of, personal preference, but if there's one thing I want more of, I think I would want to round these vocals a little bit more. In the, I don't know, what is it, 1,000 to 2,000 range, maybe a little higher. Sometimes Samantha's vocals are popping out of the mix a little bit too much, but only in certain places. It's really when she goes for it. And this has nothing to do with the vocal itself and everything to do with how we kind of shift it into the mix and wrap the instrumental around it. So really, this is as simple as throwing an EQ on there and just bringing down on BandLab that 1.6 and that 3.2 just a little bit. And then you could maybe add a second track where you have some of that 1.6, 3.2, and I think 6.4 on their graphic EQ boosted and everything else turned down. And you could slowly fade that track into the vocal to give it some air in the parts where it needs it, such as the chorus. But for the verses themselves, we should pull some of that out of there so that our ears don't get tired from any harshness. And then come the chorus, we can actually add another layer of dynamic range to the track and the vocal by fading in this additional high-end EQ frequency information. What that looks like is 2 tracks, one where you sing through, and everybody's looking at us, and we EQ it the way it needs to be EQ'd, soft, smooth, maybe take a little bit of that harshness out. But we have a second track where we sing it the exact same way, but everybody's looking at us, and we pull down everything that's not high-end information. So essentially, we are using a high-pass filter on this second track, and we're going to turn the decibel level, the volume level, way down, way down. Turn it till you can barely hear it, and then turn it down just a little bit more. Then when we get to the chorus, create an automation on BandLab, a volume automation, where you turn that up 1, maybe 2 decibels so that it becomes barely audible again. What you have is a very small thing that you've done, but it makes a very big difference in the track. Because what are we doing with music? Most of the time, we are feeling it. We are not necessarily hearing it. I know that sounds like a contradiction because you listen to music, but you're not always hearing music. A lot of times you are feeling it. And this comes a lot in the form of EDM producers stacking their synthesizers or their sounds to create all new sounds. You don't always stack the white noise so that you hear it. Sometimes you stack the white noise so that the can be felt rather than heard. And in this case, it's the same thing. 2 tracks, sing the melody twice. On the second track, kill all the low-end information, creating essentially a high-pass filter. Turn the decibel volume level all the way until you can barely hear it, and then turn it down just a little bit more. And automate the volume or the gain, if you want to use a gain plugin, in the chorus to add that sound to the vocal, creating additional air for an open chorus. All up to you. You could do this many different ways in BandLab. There are plugins that help you do it in other DAWs as well. If you are working outside of BandLab, there's a great plugin by Slate Digital called Fresh Air, and it is free. It will add that kind of air information to a vocal for you. Free. It's excellent. It's kind of a CPU hog, but free is free. Otherwise, outside of BandLab, you could use a multi-band compressor to sort of squash that harsh area in the verse and kind of round it off and smooth it out. Or you could try something like Smooth Operator from Baby Audio or Soothe 2. Both of those, however, are a little bit more on the expensive side. So those are my thoughts. Those are the 2 things I love. The one thing I want more of. I know we got kind of nerdy there towards the end, but I think it's necessary to push our craft forward and continue to create using our passion backed by our understanding of music. With that being said, everyone should jump over to BandLab and follow Luc Baudet at Baudet Luc from Paris, France, as well as Samantha Martin. And that is at Sammy Joe Martin _. Make sure y'all jump over there and follow them. And you know what? While you're on the lab, you should also follow DJTatious on BandLab, YouTube, or wherever you choose to consume your social media. We'll be there. While you're doing that, or rather, after you do that, go enjoy your weekend. Relax. Catch up on old episodes of BandLab Plus Coffee that you missed. I mean, there are so many of them. Over 100 of them. Over 100 different artists. Can you believe that? BandLab is packing some excellent tracks. Thank you for waking up, winding up, and queuing up with me. I hope your weekend is restful, and we will see you Monday.